So this will conclude. When I submitted all of these runs to Alex, like I thought he was accepting like one. So we have. I've enjoyed the little Dave block. So this will conclude our, I guess, final run. So this is Turtles 2. This is a pretty cool one. This was the second speedrun that I ever learned. Actually, you know what? I'll show you guys the difference here. So in the North American version, you can slash, and that's it. Like you cannot turn around, and if you dive kick, it looks like this. So if you rented this game from like Blockbuster as a kid, that's what it looked like. In the Japanese version, you can turn around, so you can literally slash and turn around like that, and you can also change the direction of your dive kick. Presumably to make the rental market harder, they changed this in the North American version, so you can't turn around when you're special slashing, and you can't turn around doing the dive kick. So that's basically the main difference, and all of the turtles are the same in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, except for Raphael. For reasons unknown, with the shortest weapon, he actually has a 4 pixel longer range. So not exactly sure how that works out. Probably a glitch, but that's why everybody uses Raphael in this speedrun. So timing will start once we gain control, and that will be now. Wait, now. So yeah, this is much slower than hard mode Bucky, that's for sure. But you know what, as I said, Alex has a lot of time to kill. So a lot of the time in this game comes from not using your normal attack and using special slashes to basically kill all of these enemies and stuff like that. Or if you're within range, obviously using like the dive kick from afar. This is, okay, that was terrible the way that they spawn on top of that thing. There's like some grouping that you can do later on. It's kind of advanced, or like kill things like as they're coming onto the screen like that. But realistically, at the end of the day, this is a pretty simple speedrun. This is the second one that I ever learned when I was new on Twitch many years ago. I had a lot of fun. At one point I did have the record in this one. I went back and forth and I traded it with a runner that I met very early on called Bays86. And he used to run this one with me, so it was a lot of fun times when I was like a new speedrunner and I had no idea what to do yet. As I said, there's kind of like advanced grouping. There's some quick kills and stuff like that that are, I think they're transferable between both versions. Like if you can do it on the Japanese version, you can do it on the North American version. But for the most part, it's just killing enemies quickly. I think the Turtles games got a lot more complex, like Shredder's Revenge. Here's like one example of like advanced grouping, where if you like walk down, you can like trap these guys, which of course now we never did. You can trap them in a corner. And there's a quick kill coming up on Rocksteady that's technically a 1 pixel quick kill, but with Raphael it becomes, I guess, like a 5 pixel window. So it should be pretty easy to get, which of course, now that I say that, I'm never gonna get it. But we'll see. Oh, there we go. So yeah, you can like loop Rocksteady like this and kill him. Doing this with all the other turtles is a 1 pixel window. As I said, with Raphael, it's like a 5 pixel window or 4 pixel window, something like that. But it makes it substantially easier with Raphael. The extra pixel range, pause percent. The extra pixel range helps with like some group formations, like some enemy formations, like normal enemies. But it doesn't make a huge, massive difference for the most part. Like the only time it really kind of helps is at the beginning of, when like an enemy is walking on screen like really early, and if you can like preemptively attack it as it's jumping in, like that's really the only time that it kind of saves you some time. But so coming up here, we have a choice to make. We can get extra points if we try to attack the lady on the skateboard. I think because every kid did that in the 90s, we're gonna do that too. Otherwise, technically, there's no resemblance. Oh, we got her! There's no point to do that otherwise. And there's also a quick kill coming up on Bebop that is probably accidental. Like you could have found that one as a kid by accident, because it's really easy to stun lock Bebop by accident. It doesn't matter if it's Raphael or not. Kind of works on everybody. A lot of people stumble upon that one. Whoops. So one of the noticeable differences too between the Japanese version and the North American version is the poster signs that just fell there literally said Turtle Racing. There is no Pizza Hut. There is like some kind of like Pizza Hut tie-in obviously with the North American release of this game. There's no Pizza Hut in the Japanese version. It's all Turtle Racing. I don't know if that's better or worse. Like, I guess it depends how much of a Pizza Hut fan you are. But I feel like Turtle Racing like probably crosses like some animal ethic issues. Like, is that even legal, or is it like dog fighting? Like, it sounds like in the same alley to me. So yeah, that's the quick kill on Bebop. Pretty easy. So, we are entering the obligatory sewer stage. I mean, at least this makes sense, like, on the turtle standpoint, you know? Like, basically every NES game ever always has, like, a sewer section. For whatever reason, like, the hero has to go in the sewer at some point. It makes more sense in a Turtles game, but it's a pretty slow section. The funny thing about these Mausers, like, I don't know how many people remember them from the cartoons and stuff. It's almost a Mandela effect, because if you look it up, at least during the original, like, animated cartoon, the Mausers were only in one episode. They never came back. What's up, G-Pow? Yeah, that's what I mean, like, even the guys on rollerblades go into the sewers. Yeah, G-Pow is one of the few people that follow basically the little account that I'm streaming on right now that's not my main. Yeah, weirdly, they were only in one episode. I didn't know that. I thought they were in way more episodes. So coming up, we're gonna have Baxter Stockman, technically his human form first, not the alien form. I mean, if you want to go check it out, it's Trash Can Practice account. I just almost never stream to it. I use it rarely for like marathons and stuff, but I used to use it like just to stream practice, so I wasn't going online with my main account for like half an hour, but for whatever reason, there's a couple people that follow it, G-Pow being one of them. It's like, I think there's like 37 people that follow that account. Okay, this is a terrible boss kill. Tonight I dine on turtle soup. You're a freak, Shredder. So we enter the winter stage. Apparently it's New York. I don't know if this is an accurate representation of New York, where it's like frozen over and like ice boulders are falling from the sky. But it could be. You know, I've never been to New York before. Maybe it is. Maybe. But coming up, this would be like one of the first sections of kind of RNG that matters. There's like these snowman enemies that'll spawn on screen. They can spawn left or right, and depending on if they spawn together or apart from each other like that, you can kill them all extremely quickly, or it takes a little bit of time. So this would have been absolutely terrible RNG. And if you were one of the great people that can run this game, like Onquad or Skunky, or Pika Pika, or get out of here, man, or a bunch of other people, like that's probably a reset. Like that's how much time that it loses compared to how much time they have left and the records and stuff these days. So you really want them all to spawn. It's a 50-50 chance. They're either going to spawn all right side or left side. But you really want them all to spawn on the same side, and they spawn twice. So we're going to see one more group of snowmen. So this is kind of like the first stage that RNG matters a little bit. At least in terms of like good paces and stuff like that. So other than that, this stage is inhabited by Tora for the boss later on. Tora is... I don't know where Tora comes from. Like, I'm a pretty big Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle nerd. or at least I was a long time ago, reading like the Mirage comics and stuff like that. I don't know where Tora is from, so maybe chat knows. He must have been from like a cartoon or something that I didn't see at like one episode or something like that, because I'm not familiar. Sure, I'm not familiar with wherever he comes from. But he also has a quick kill that you can essentially stun lock him. There's a couple different ways that you can do that. This one is probably the easiest one. But there's others that involve slashing him, and there's another that involves kind of like a combination of like slashing him and moving out of the way. There's also another where technically you can like drop kick him and like move out of the way, let him throw a boulder, and then repeat that as well until he's dead, which is slower, but still as consistent as hitting him over and over. So that orb apparently was controlling, I guess, the weather. Like, I don't know. And it's springtime again. So I'm not exactly sure how this fits into like the plot of the story, but we made New York a nicer place, apparently. If that's even possible. I'm not sure. Is it possible? Alright, so we're entering the highway. Yeah, that's a little bit harder to do on the North American version, but it's totally possible to do that. Wow, that guy just like literally knifed our insides out of us. That blue foot soldier single-handedly deserves a promotion. It was like the fastest knife ever to come out. So this car will try to crush us. It was terrifying as a kid to see that. Like, I remember literally being jump scared by that car. And then there's one more car coming up that does that too. Guy, he took his sweet time coming with this car coming up here. It will also try to run us down. So all the foot soldiers obviously have like different properties and like different attacks. It would be interesting to see somebody go for like a hitless challenge in this, because it would be moderately annoying, I feel, to do. The weird thing about this is it works both ways. Like, it's a really weird way that they set up this game engine, because if you are in the middle of an attack and they use a special attack, you go flying. Like, that's where the recoil comes from. Same thing for the other foot soldiers, like they have iframes and they can't be hit out of it as soon as they get attacked. So it's a really weird, way that they set up this thing. So anyway, like my point would be is it takes a little bit to internalize like how the combat system works in this game to avoid hits, because there's a lot of iframes. There's actually a lot of iframes in between like certain segments and like certain attacks and stuff. Like I just can't like spam over and over and over, because not only would it not hit because Baxter would be in iframes here, I would also have like a hitbox extending into his attack and I would get recoiled backwards. So there's a lot of weird kind of like internal stuff that you have to figure out. But we're saving April. She apparently drags everybody into the turtle van and then she immediately crashes. Oh, not yet. She crashes after. Sorry, spoilers. Okay, knife guy, calm down. He threw like 3 knives there. So this level in particular, I would say is like probably one of the harder levels. Not because it's like particularly hard, but they just basically throw like every enemy in the game that they've shown you so far at you. And then they introduce a couple more, because there's going to be some guys coming in here with like bombs that kind of like throw them around at you. The bombs technically do the most damage in the game, next to Shogun's axe. Okay, get back here. So yeah, these like dynamite guys are like programmed to stay away from you, sorry, and then there's going to be motorcycle guys, And then there's also going to be guys that just like straight up carry it looks like a nuclear bomb. But the combination of them trying to stay away from you and just moving around in weird ways, like it's actually really easy to lose a lot of time on this level. And that's the only time that we see them actually, it's just this one level. They don't come back. So, coming up here, we have, honestly, like, I don't know why they included this level. All the other levels are basically split into, okay, you know, there's like a level section and it leads into a boss. This is a really long section where not only is the stage forever, it leads into like basically another stage and then finally a boss. So there's like basically like 3 parts to the stage, because like the first spot that we just were in, and then there's gonna be like a little section where April crashes right afterwards and like Splinter gets kidnapped, which I think he has like one of the best animations of a kidnapped person ever. And then there's this helicopter section. So the helicopters can come in high or low. It's RNG if they come in high or low. On the Japanese version, you can deal with whatever RNG they give you. So you don't have to start off the helicopter by hitting it with a dive kick. You can just slash. If you slash like immediately, then you'll hit the low helicopter. If you push A and then push B, you know, frames later, you have like a slightly higher slash, and that'll hit the higher helicopter, but you have to visually identify if it's high or low immediately as it's spawning on screen. So this one was high, and I tried to do the high slash, but I couldn't anyway. I got shot in the face apparently by the helicopter. And there's a lot of time to save if you remove that, see, like that, if you remove that one dive kick. Because we figured out that if you remove the dive kick on every single startup helicopter, I think it saves like close to 3 or 4 seconds. So it's pretty substantial actually. But the risk is because you're in the middle of a special attack, you can automatically get hit. So there you go, April crashes. We go into yet another screen. I don't know why this level is so long. Splinter gets kidnapped by Mousers apparently. And we have a lot of Mousers to kill. There's like, I don't know how many on this level. Well, not that many, but like still, like it's a very long level. But it really doesn't fit, like, I don't know the goal of this level. Like there's just a lot of stuff and it goes on forever, and then every other level after that is short. Maybe they didn't have another boss that they could program in here, so they just kept making levels. Since we have time, I'll do a tribute to Pika. At least when he had the old world record, this is what Pika's run looked like. He literally was like this. And he's like, what? So shoutouts to Pika Pika Pikachu. That was like literally in his record forever. Probably one of the best things that I've seen in a record where somebody lost time. Yeah, it was like he almost had a flawless run otherwise, and like you can completely avoid those lasers. Like it's not like you have to go down there. But somehow you got caught up in like not 1 but 2 but like 3 or 4. So it was pretty silly. So we have stage exclusive enemies here, drones. You really want to hit them in such a way, that was bad. You can hit them in basically like all 4 almost, like this. Okay, I missed them. But you can basically kill them in pairs of 2 and then 2. Weirdly, I would say like almost this group of like yellow foot soldiers right afterwards might be on the North American version the hardest group of foot soldiers to deal with. not so much in the Japanese version because you can change direction, but they're really like annoying. More so on, again, the North American version. So we're finally approaching the boss of like this level that lasts like basically half of the game. This is Graninator. No, this is... Who are you? You're Graninator, or whatever your name is, because the other guy is Trog or whatever, Trag. So this guy has a partial quick kill. If you let him try to attack you after 4 slashes like this, you can jump neutral. And he generally won't slash you. Like, sometimes he still hits you, but for the most part you can go like this. Optimal quick kill, you would allow him to swing like that, and then once he starts flashing, you would just spam in the corner, take the hit, because it's a little bit faster than jumping up and down like that, and kill him that way. So we rescued Splinter, and then we just abandoned him. Thank you, my turtles. You're welcome, Splinter. So we're entering the dojo. The dojo, in my opinion, is... it's probably one of the worst levels in the entire game, in the entire speedrun. The weird thing about the dojo is, like, all of the bad RNG in Turtles has been, like, centralized into this stage. There are massive time wastes that aren't necessarily super hard to deal with. So there's, like, these tiger enemies, but they can waste, you know, like, tens of seconds. And there's also scorpion enemies that can also waste a lot of time. These like chonky ninja dudes, they can equally waste a lot of time. But yeah, like all of the bad RNG on North American version and the Japanese version wound up in this stage. Almost all of it. So it is probably the worst level on paper to be entering a pace, like a good pace on, because like it could just evaporate here. Yeah, oh. So there's these weird spike things that come from the ceiling, or not the ceiling, the floor. We actually got stabbed by them. It's pretty easy to avoid these things. So good job, floor spikes, you got me. That's really not the hardest thing to avoid. So there's multiple different ways. I'm gonna take a hit here intentionally. It'll recoil me backwards, but the iframes I have coming up like that will allow me to slash the tiger again. And I'll try to do a pixel perfect version of this one, but it's been years. No, not even close. I don't know how close that was to the setup, but the same idea here. I'll take a hit, and then I'll be able to slash him coming up here, and then that's an easy way to deal with both tigers. You can do that hitless with both, so the RNG here is insane. You really want all of these scorpions to spawn on the same side of the screen. There's 3 in the Japanese version, there's 4 in the North American version. The difference between them not hitting you and spawning all on one side is sometimes like 20 seconds. So it's actually, it's utterly insane in the speedrun. But I remember, at least at the time when Baze and I used to run this, like we did math according to like the runs that existed at the time. And it was like close to like a 1 in 200 chance to have them all spawn on the right side. It like almost never happened, but like once it did, like you would literally see the records at the time, they'd like suddenly save like 17 or 18 seconds. It was pretty crazy. So coming up here is Shogun. He's the boss of the dojo, and the quick kill that I figured out a long time ago allows you... Okay, so I'm gonna try to do this and I'll explain what's going on, provided he doesn't lose his head here. Oop, wait. Okay, nice. So Shogun has 2 different attacks. He can have his head... Okay, so let me explain this better. Every 4.24 seconds or something, Shogun is on a timer that he's supposed to lose his head and it goes flying around. The only 2 things that stop that animation from happening, or that action from happening, is if he's taking a hit or if he's swinging his weapon. So it's entirely possible to trap him in the corner, time your hits very specifically, so that he's always swinging or you're always swinging, and then at that point, his head basically never flies off his body. It was actually, I figured that out a long time ago, like years ago at this point when I still ran it. There's a better way to do that now, where you don't even take any hits, but it involves multiple frame perfect slashes. And it was really cool to watch like the new generation of runners run this, because that was like something Baze and I thought like would never be RTA that late into the run on pace. And then Omquat and Pika and a bunch of other runners that like picked this up, they're like, you know what, like no, let's do it. So it was cool to see them try. Pika was really good at trying it, or at least trying it until they got hit, because like sometimes you get hit out of it, but it was cool to see the evolution of that one strat. What's up, bro, man? Whoops. Like, there's almost never an excuse that little machine should shoot. Like, they're really easy to kill. So, that little monster deserves like a raise as well. He managed to shoot and make a difference in the world. Okay, guy. So, coming up, basically this level isn't too hard either. It's more like, here's every enemy that you versed. So, okay. So, as long as you kind of remember like how to kill the enemy types and stuff like that, it's not too bad. There's a really weird glitch that you can do here that's kind of cool if you're playing with like a buddy. At the bottom of this area, there's a pizza. And if you line up both turtles here, and you're on the same pixel, and then on the same frame you start walking, you can with both turtles collect the pizza together. So you duplicate the pizza, and duplicated pizza, I don't know about you, sounds amazing to me. If only that was like a real life hack, but unfortunately it's not. And there's a very unknown bug that I'll try to do at the very end of this level too. You have a very short window frame to do it. So these roadkill Rodneys come back. I got 2 again. I'll try to get all 3 next time. You can technically, I said that at the very beginning of the run, but like maybe you're getting a drink or whatever. The only reason that you play Raph is he has a 4 pixel higher window than the other turtles, and it's probably a programming error. So he has like, every other turtle is exactly the same, they have the exact same damage, exact same everything. But Raphael, for whatever reason, has a 4 pixel wider range on his attacks. So it was, again, probably a programming error. But it makes some quick kills easier. So if you look at the points up here, quickly, wait. You see, all of a sudden I got like 20,000. I'm actually glad that I got that. That was discovered by Omquat. I don't know why slashing the door basically gives you like multiple lives, but it does. I don't know if that's like an Easter egg that nobody really knew as a kid, or like what happens there. But yeah, like if you try to attack the door as it goes flying off like that, you get a huge amount of points. And that was like not known in the speedrunning community for as long as I've been a part of the speedrunning community when it came to turtles. And then Omquat figured that out one day where he's like, what? Equally, Krang, there's gonna be a fight coming up with Krang. He like appears in like an X-ray kind of screen. There was a runner named Frank that figured out years afterwards, we can save like 2 seconds because Krang will start to flex. We can hit him out of this animation. See, like that. Nobody ever tried to hit Krang there. We just let him walk over here and flex. So for the longest time, there was like a secret 2-second save there. We didn't have to watch that flexing animation. So that went to Frank. He just literally tried hitting him one day. He's like, did you guys know this? And everybody was like, no. It's really weird. So Krang is one of the worst bosses in Turtles 2. He is incredibly random with this kick. This kick determines how fast that you can kill him. You can kill him all in one life bar on full health, but sometimes he takes basically like 1.5 lives, and it's completely up to him. It depends how much he decides to kick you. So that was actually an atrocious Krang fight. If you look at this shadow right here, you see how like the top is missing? You see it's gone? This was my visual a long time ago to set up a quick kill that I figured out that is still used. Like, nobody replaced this quick kill, you know, like almost 8 years later when it comes to speedrunning. So the two shredders that come out, they're going to split apart. One is fast, one is slow. We want the slow one. This is actually the wrong one, so we want this guy right here. So the slow one is the real one. And hopefully they start being weirdos. Okay. Anytime now, shredders. It's amazing that they're not. Okay, we actually died. That's great. Okay, well, we're back in the position. Okay, there we go. Finally. So if they cooperated before, this is what it should look like. Oh, this is the wrong shredder. That's great. What a great. Okay, so the guy up here, you're the real one. So anyway, if you align your shadow with that line, you can attack in a safe pixel range, and then this other shredder will start to shoot this instant death laser, and you can just loop them forever like that. He'll try to shoot you forever. This happened to me during a run a long time ago, and then I figured out how to make it happen every single time, but unfortunately they decided to be crazy and just walk around and be weirdos. But this is how it should look from the beginning of the fight, and then it's something obscene, like 77 dive kicks or something that kill Shredder. All I remember is like after Shredder's helmet flies off, I think there's like 7 dive kicks left, and then he dies. But yeah, this quick kill I literally figured out like 8 years ago, and I have begged the Turtles community, like, please replace it. Like, please. Like, there's got to be a better way to kill Shredder, and nobody ended up figuring out a different way to do that. And there you go. That concludes me. So thank you guys for watching all of this random stuff. It was fun. This is I'm not used to doing a bunch of like runs in a row like that in a no reset kind of setting. Most of these went pretty well. Like, I'm pretty happy. I haven't run Turtles in forever, so realistically at the end of the day I can't ask much from that one. But like all the other ones, Batman was a little bit weak compared to how it could have been. Everything else was, I think, above average. So I'm pretty happy with the results of all of that. But before Alex takes me off, just to remember the reason why I submitted in the first place. Very simple, man. I lost my dad, you know, a couple of years ago to cancer as well. I know Alex obviously lost his mom. Hug your parents. Say hi to them today. Pretty simple, right? But hope you guys enjoyed, and thank you, Alex, always for having me on. Appreciate it, man. And I'll mute myself, so feel free. I guess Natalie's up next with DuckTales 2, so enjoy that. And take care, guys.